Should we get this show on the road then?
Yeah, let's get it done.
Let's
Are we recording?
do this. Of course, of course.
Oh, well, okay. So we're into episode 42 of the Thors-Kin podcast.
Lucky number.
Is it?
I don't know. I just thought I'd say lucky number. Yeah, episode 42, lucky number.
Next week, episode 43, lucky number. Yeah, great to have you here again, James. How have you been? You been all right?
I've been busy, very, very busy. Lots of work, lots of state of decaying, lots of random stuff going on. So, yeah, been a busy week. So, sort of sitting down, planning this out last minute of, remember what week it is next week? Big E3 week, so better get some predictions in.
Yeah, like I've since like obviously Infinity War and Deadpool 2 and Solo's out now, like there is nothing anywhere of what we'll normally talk about. I have trolled everywhere looking for fucking news stories, and there's not a lot to talk about. So yeah, we'll get into sort of a pre-E3 show. We were supposed to have Chris Osborne on today, and apologies to him, we just couldn't seem to get our heads together and get something planned. So
no, I didn't even have time to sort of like get involved in planning conversations. So
apologies to Chris. We'll get something sorted either next week or the week after. Obviously, next week is going to be the E3 show, so we'll get someone in that will happily sit and talk to us about gaming. And and also we made 1,000 downloads since January. Yay. How cool is that?
Let's make that 1,000 subs. Yeah, I want 1,000 people, not downloads. Come on, get sharing, bitches.
It's great. Well, you know what, Podbean and it doesn't. If we get subscribers on, say, Podcast Addict and iTunes and things like that, but I don't think it shows up the same on the Podbean. So, but I'm really happy, and the postcards that we ordered in, they're all being sent out to people like Rich Carter in Australia. He's had one sent to him, and of course, our Graham, who's been absolutely fantastic. He's been making some amazing things. Did you see the post you made of me and Garrett yesterday? Brilliant. He picked up on the whole German intro thing that we did, and he likes it. And a lot of people like that, actually. So we've been playing on that a bit more. And so, yeah, thanks to everyone that's made that possible. I'm not saying anything because I don't want to jinx it, but we have got something special planned.
Oh boy, do we have something special planned.
Oh, it's big. I landed a big guess, but I'm not going to say anything yet until we get it finalized because I don't want to make myself look like a dick, but I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah, so if there's no big show in the next sort of like 3 or 4 weeks dropping, it fell through. But yeah, that's the thing with things like that. It's always best to get it in the bag first. But yeah, hopefully we've got some big shows, guests lined up coming up. Like you said, E3 next week is going to be an awesome one. And then the one after that you've just hinted at. So it's going to hopefully be a nice little tidy month for us.
Yeah, and our listener base is going up. I mean, I see it. I check it. Like I've cut down a lot because when I first got onto the Podbean thing, Jimmy was always shouting at me for checking it every like fucking 3 hours or whatever. So I did. I cut back and I was like, I'm not doing this no more. So it's only when I'm kind of releasing shows or publishing things that's when I kind of look.
Yeah, have a mooch what's going on. Yeah, you can get so bogged down in it otherwise. Of like, it's a little podcast. We're not going to reach thousands of millions of people.
Thousands of millions of people.
Yeah.
No. And you see the odd new country pop up, like, or an odd new state in America. So it's really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've got some posters as well. I got 3 posters off Vistaprint. They were like, "Here, you can have £10. Welcome to Vista." Okay. So I've very quickly and panically just bought some posters. I didn't want it to expire. So the Weekly Bazaar posters, only because the Thors-Kin posters didn't quite morph into the poster shape. So we need to.
Disappointed, selfish. That's what that is.
Well, I tried to get it done, but it's like the way we do the Thors-Kin poster. It doesn't quite move into a poster very easily. So we'll have to organise something like that.
So yeah, shall we? Have you got any random bits and bobs to shout out? Should we wrap up superhero bar fight, the results and things like that before we get into
Yes,
it?
superhero bar fight. Let me just bring up the poll. Actually, I do this every week. I'm like, oh yeah, I do this every week, and then I forget to bring up the poll. So let's get it up. And
Yeah.
it was an interesting one last week. We had Cyclops versus the Joker.
Mm-hmm. And a very peculiar sort of turn of events, the way that we took it, which I think we got pretty right. We had Joker, sort of. Everyone knows that Cyclops, if he got one hit on Joker, he'd just be vaporized. Everyone knows that. But the Joker that we went with is the quick, speedy, agile Joker who just does not give a crap and is just using children meat shields and everything. And Cyclops, with Conscience being, the poster boy for X-Men. Well, maybe Wolverine is, but you know what I mean. Yeah, he couldn't really get a clean shot on him.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you got someone jumping around and, like you said, using kind of people guards, And it was really close actually between Joker and Cyclops. We got it wrong apparently. 57% for Cyclops, 43% for Joker.
That's really interesting. I was expecting probably like at least an 80-20 in the way of Cyclops. To tell you the truth, because I thought everyone would just think, well, Joker doesn't stand a chance. So that's quite interesting that it was so close.
And yeah, we didn't get as many votes this week because I purposely didn't put it on the Garmy because I wanted to see, because the Garmy helps me out with these polls, and I wanted to see how much of an influence that they have on these polls. And we only got 23 votes for these polls or this week, so it goes to show how much they actually help us there. So big shout out to them. I don't agree with you. I think you're full of shit. The Joker should have won that hands
down. No, I think I like the way that we do it and we just don't take it seriously. But I think I'd agree with them, is that there'd be so many like eye blasts going on that one's going to catch him. Even if it's just like catching his leg or something, that's it. He's only got one leg. He's not moving anymore. So yeah, I disagree with the way that we took it, but I rolled with it because it was quite fun to talk about. So I kind of agree with the polls personally.
Okay. The next one was Scarecrow from Batman versus Spider-Man, and 81% chose Spider-Man for that one. So we kind of got that right.
Yeah.
Joel from Geek Out put an interesting comment on Facebook. He said that Spider-Man doesn't stand a chance against Scarecrow.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Did he explain?
His comments right here, I think. Spidey doesn't stand a chance. Fear toxin takes care of the senses, and frankly, I don't think he's got the mental discipline to fight off hallucinations. Scarecrow is like Mysterio turned up to 12. So
that's quite a good shout, is that Spider-Man is young and immature and cocky. But I think the metabolism would have made the toxin kind of dial up to 11 quickly, but then out of his system quickly as well.
Yeah, okay, so Joel, sit the fuck down. I'm only joking, wow. Joel. He knows I love him. He knows I love him. No, this is what I like, though. I just love love that people are talking about this thing, with us, and people understand that we're not like super geeks. We don't sit there. I mean, I know so many people that do just enjoy sitting there reading comic books, and I don't have the time. I have got comic books to read. I've got loads. But I just don't have the time to sit and read them. So that is great that we get to talk about it still. Later on in the show, we have.
What do we have? Oh, yeah. This is my bit. Okay, right, guys, listen up and wait for my computer to load. So later on in the show, in the non-Storly way, we have. Come on, Jesus Christ! Why don't you tell me to get this stuff up already?
It's not my fault you run your laptop on Windows XP.
Nothing wrong with Windows XP. I'm on 98. Windows 98 for the win. It's quick. It's not quick. It's clean and simple. You know where to go to hack games like Age of Empires 1.
Jimmy still has that paperclip turn up on Word like, hi, can I help you? Whoop.
You leave Clippy out of this. Right, okay, so later on in the week, as usual, Wednesday and Thursday, we have... Oh, this is going to be a good one. So we've got Pyramid Head versus Ryu from Street Fighter. That's going to be a weird one. It's going to be really, really interesting. Joys of having it randomly dished out. And then we have Galen Marek from Force Unleashed versus Master Chief, which is going to be really, really interesting.
It's going to be, oh my God. You see, our Master Chief hasn't had it easy at all. Not at all. He's always been drawn against some sort of juggernaut, and I think he has been this time as well.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, I want Master Chief just to go like clean house with anyone, because I think he could for the most part. But the problem with comic book and video game characters is everyone is overpowered in some way, and if there's a way to get around his weak spots, then that's it. That's part of the whole reason why we do it. So yeah, my fanboyism of Master Chief is God. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to play out again. He went against Kratos the first time that we drew him, I think.
No, it was Agent Venom, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Agent Venom.
And that was a close call, but I mean, obviously Agent Venom is super overpowered, so it wasn't very fair on him, to be honest.
Should we get this thing started then? Shall we get into our E3 week predictions?
Hold on, man. I want to tell you that the other day, right, I got bit by a fucking spider. I got bit by a fucking spider. All right, we live in the UK where spiders don't bite people. And I got bit by a fucking spider on my arm.
Yeah, it's nothing due to capabilities. It's that English spiders are too polite. They'll move out of your way. Like, oh, you don't want me in your house? That's fine. I'll leave. I'll go to the second most polite place in the world, and then he sort of like excommunes to Canada.
It fucking hurt like a bee sting, man. It was really painful. I was like, what the fuck? I wouldn't have minded if it was a wasp or something like that, because then you'd have an explanation. But a spider, I actually saw the fucker hanging off my arm. I had to swat it away.
Really?
My arm, yeah. I had to, my arm swelled up. It felt like I had a fucking water bomb in my arm. It was horrible.
What kind of spider was it?
I don't know. It was a little light brown one with white spots on it. So I don't know what that
I'd have gone to like A&E at that point. I'd have been like, no, you got spots on you, I'm going.
Yeah. We're having like serious problems with our garden at the moment. It's really funny, actually. So every time I step up for a cigarette, sometimes Kaz will come out with me. We've got a family of frogs living in our garden right now, and I won't touch them because I like frogs. I think they're peaceful creatures that just get along with their business, eat wood lice, and just get on with it, whereas Kaz fucking hates them. So we step out, it's dark, and I have to now come out the front door and stamp on the floor, and then you see like 3 or 4 frogs just jumping away from the front door. And she runs back into the house. She's sat on the sofa rocking like, oh, there's frogs. Like she hates frogs.
Brilliant. Anyway. Wait until you stamp on one of the frogs by accident.
I nearly did last night. I just missed it, and it kind of jumped up and did that kind of jump. It jumped off my leg to get away. Jumped up and then bounced off my leg. It was funny. So yeah, frogs and spiders, man. Welcome to Shrewsbury. It's fucking hell out here, boy.
It's like Australia. So E3 leak week. It's been if you don't want like to find out things that are coming out before E3, if you the kind of person who wants to watch the show and be surprised by everything, then you're probably not the kind of person that watches E3 anyway without checking Twitter and everything's on there. You just can't escape it nowadays, I don't think.
Have we got Have we got a rundown of any dates and times of actual conferences?
We would have if I was that prepared, but it's all taking place next weekend, I believe.
If you can find a poster with sort of a list of things, send it to me and I'll get it out to everyone.
I will. I think it's kicking off on. Is it the 9th on the Saturday or something like that? Obviously. It used to be a 2-day thing. It's now people going before, people are going afterwards. So it's like it's spread out a little bit more. You get a more paced like series and news drops. But what I kind of wanted to do is go over a few of the leaks, and I want to do predictions as well. And most importantly, wish lists of things that you want to see, things that might be realistic, things that might be total pie in the sky's never going to happen. But it's interesting to talk about. So, what I was thinking, if we do it through like in publisher order,
okay,
and then we can keep it all a bit more condensed. So, if we get the boring one out of the way, because we know what it's going to be every single year, should we do EA first?
You're going to get FIFA 19. You're going to get NHL 19. You're going to get NFL 19. You're going to get
Madden 19.
Yeah.
You're going to get Battlefield 19. You're going to... Battlefield's going to be an interesting one. I want to see gameplay there, because I was going to say the leak then. The reveal trailer didn't do anything for me. It was just lots and lots of jeeps and planes falling on people's heads in the most sort of like over-the-top Hollywood. Why are there English people going, "Good day, sir," mid-battle? It's like, you've just like what's the word? Not fantasized.
Stereotyped.
Yeah, half stereotyped and half like taken the. What I liked about Battlefield 1 was this is war. This is brutal. You don't want to be part of this. This one was like that's the word, glorifying. It made it like over the top, and actually it was horrendous. And that's what I kind of like about the Battlefield games, is that leave the over the top explosionness to Call of Duty and give me something real, give something gritty and dirty. So I want to see the gameplay for Battlefield 5. That's what I'm most excited for from EA.
From sticking with the EA thing, I mean, I've always been a fan of FIFA. I really have. Like, ever since I was little, I've played every single FIFA game. But the last sort of 3 or so, they've just I was playing it in work with one of the customers. I was like, "Bring your Xbox down, let's have a go." And it's just horrible. Like, they've taken an amazing game that I used to be able to just sit and disappear into, and just completely slowed it down. Like, you can pass a ball and it just slowly rolled to the player, and like there's this really horrible touch on it. The AI is terrible. I mean, I know a lot of people listening here, like we've got a lot of American listeners that be like, "Well, I don't give a shit about that," but it's a fucking big thing for me. Like, they've taken one of I could have sworn I just put it on silent. Oh no, I turned my Wi-Fi off by accident. Pressed the wrong button. Sorry. So yeah, they've taken something that I really loved and just ruined. They have ruined it. Yeah. You can't even take a penalty now without skying it over the fucking goal. So I would like them to make a huge improvement on FIFA.
Yeah, they need to arcade it back up. Take it back to FIFA 2004 was the last one that I bought and played before I wasn't into football anymore. And swiftly right there, because I know people would just go listening to FIFA talk. Yeah, revamp all your sports games. I think Madden this year or last year was apparently a really good entry into it. So yeah, make the same sort of effort that they seem to be doing with Madden and put that into FIFA. Do them well. Predictions. Will we see more of Anthem, or do you think that game is years out? Because obviously they went back to the drawing board a little bit with the whole Battlefront loot box scenario, because obviously that game is set up for microtransactions through the teeth. So
that was one of the first shows we did back in August. I remember us getting really excited about Anthem, and it's no release date, no nothing. I mean, they teased us with this amazing looking trailer. It was fucking fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I definitely, it's a game that it's like a COD Halo hybrid, isn't it? It's like the perfect in betweeny.
Yeah.
And I think I'd be definitely interested in that, because like I'm one of these that's probably gonna get Black Ops 4, but I'm kind of getting tired with it now. I'd like a new idea, something like, you know, Destiny was almost my go-to place. I bought it and I enjoyed it, but I got that I didn't like the game bit. I didn't like the way the gameplay worked.
Didn't like the game bit. That will put a spanner in the works.
But it's that as well. It was really repetitive. You were doing the same missions over and over and over. It was just a bit weird.
That's what I think these like shared world experience co-op grind for loot games are missing, is that they're all about the latest raid, the latest content drop, and it's like you need the core game to be so fleshed out, like Witcher level fleshed out to begin with, that those content drops are just like extra shit to do. That's why I'm not going to get into it, but like with Sea of Thieves, where they took all of like the statistics loot grinding out of it, and it just a sword's a sword, a gun's a gun, and you do it for the experience. That's why that recipe, yes, maybe it didn't work out great for sort of longevity, but that's why that recipe was great. You can't do that if you've just got one content dropping every 6 months.
Yeah.
It needs to be fleshed out. You need to be able to do it where you don't have to have a religious group of 4 people going into it. You need to be able to play it by yourself. You need to be able to get the extra stuff yourself, and you need just some sort of balancing thing like Borderlands does. Like, people can go into Borderlands, different levels, join up co-op, and just crack on with it.
Yeah.
Like, if Gearbox, of all people, not really the best developers in the world, can sort that out, I'm sure a BioWare with Anthem can get that sorted. So I'm excited to see more of that. Plants vs. Zombies 3 has been rumoured. Any interest whatsoever?
No, not at all.
You finished?
It was a great tablet game, something to sit and just hammer away on, or on your phone. I'm not interested. No.
Did you not play Garden Warfare 1 or 2? I think you'd enjoy it. It's not like the deepest game in the world where like it's gonna be the thing you'll go to instead of Call of Duty. Don't get me wrong, but it's a good little sort of class-based shooter. It's a better Battlefront than Battlefront is. Put it that way.
It always reminds me of Worms, and it's because of I would rather suddenly Team 17 rock up and be like, we've got an online game of Worms. I'd be happy with that. I'd play that.
That would work as well, to be honest.
It would
they
work
they
really well.
did like 3D games. Remember like Hogs of War, where they took Worms and made it into like a 3D you could actually go around doing stuff, but it was still turn-based. I'd love for a new game like that. Right, so I'm not going to harp on that too much longer. Yeah, Plants vs. Zombies 3, maybe we might see it. Titanfall 3, we've had one of the developers sort of put almost the same thing as Fallout did with their Please Stand By. Sort of, it was incoming transmission from one of the art directors. So, do you think we'll get Titanfall 3 this year? Because same time period between 1 and 2 has taken place, so...
I don't know. I mean, like, Titanfall 2 wasn't exactly hugely popular, was it? It kind of sunk, didn't it? And with that, like, Anthem coming out, you kind of think maybe they shouldn't spread themselves out too thin. You know, they should put more effort at, like, the odd few games rather than a million games, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would like to see a Titanfall 3, but where else can they go with it? What else can they do with that?
Well, the story in it was really good in Titanfall 2. I will give it that. Like, I steered away from it over and over, not giving it a chance because I hated the multiplayer element. I thought Titanfall 1 nailed what that recipe of multiplayer should be, and Titanfall 2 added a few tiny little bits that just upset the whole balance, and it just became a shit Black Ops, basically. I want them to just rein it back in and not expand it. Actually, I want it to make it prettier, make it more explodey and Hollywoody, but rein the multiplayer in. Because the balance of the guns and the way that you could set up your classes and your progression was just... It reminded me a lot of old Modern Warfare 2, where it was like there was enough of it, but it wasn't beyond reach. You could unlock everything, you could get all your attachments, and you could get all the challenges, and you could prestige rapidly and get the call signs and the logos. Now it's just like, well, unless you're going in there with that, if you don't take a grappling hook in, they change the way that the maps work, so you can't really get anything out of the game. It completely changed everything. Just the grappling hook alone completely changed the game. So yeah,
I think that the romance I had with Titanfall 1 was that was kind of our introduction to this is what games are going to look like. This is what amazing graphics look like with like real war feelings.
Do you
climbing
think?
Up. Yeah, that was kind of how. That's why it was such a big thing for me. It was like it was chaos, like climbing up on Titans and trying not to die, and then you got like capsules falling down with the AI bots, and it was chaos.
You're on about more of the gameplay. I was going to say graphics-wise, I don't think it was that impressive, to be honest. I think games superseded it very, very quickly, but couldn't agree more with the gameplay, the AI, and it was like it felt like you were in war, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And now you've got like what Battlefield and Call of Duty and Destiny even have done now, and we're kind of used to that now. That was like the honeymoon period. I was kind of like, oh.
Do you know what? I'd go one step further and say no game still has emulated that feeling of Titanfall 1. Titanfall 2 certainly didn't. Like, you have to go on side quests to find the fucking bots falling out of the sky. Like, there's no AI on the map whatsoever. They that's what I mean. They changed that recipe and it just didn't stand up. So yeah, I'd really like to see another Titanfall, but scale up the feeling of war. I think you've hit the nail on the head of why Titanfall 1 to me was better than 2. So I'd like them to see them take that back to there. Any other random bits you think from EA? Do you think any wish list predictions?
No. I mean, EA is. I want them to walk away from Star Wars. If they release anything to do with Star Wars, I think you're just going to get a huge groan and moan from the audience. Yeah, that's.
No. What you're going to get is a week of holy shit, this looks amazing, and then nothing, and then when it's released, the moan and groan. There's story games that they're working on. They could do so much with. They could quite easily put out a Knights of the Old Republic game. Quite easily.
Yeah, but we don't trust these fuckers, do we? We don't. Not with like they've tried so much with Star Wars and just screwed everyone over time and time again. If you go and buy a Battlefront game now for the third time and playing, you've been screwed over a third time. It's your fault. It's not EA's fault. It's your fault.
Yeah,
you're the consumer. You're the one that buys it, and you're the one that gives them the license to do that. So
yeah. Couldn't agree more.
That's all I'm going to say on that.
Right, let's move past EA then. Let's do Ubisoft and let's kick it off with the big one. Did you see the leak? Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. I don't know why have they done this to me, right? Because I was looking forward to kind of getting a bit like, I know World War II wouldn't fit in with a guy with hidden blades, but they could have made it work. There could have been a way of doing it.
No.
Yes.
No. It's
because that's when they changed. That's when they changed the way the game works. Okay, so instead of running around taking people out, you've got to be careful. It almost becomes a Hitman game where you've got to almost be really secretive and not let people know that you're an assassin. Move around people and take people out so quickly and so perfectly, because if you don't, then obviously you're just going to get nailed by fucking machine gun fire. I think it's a great idea. Like they were going forward. And to be honest with you, I lost touch with these games as soon as they killed Desmond off. Like they need to pick that story up, because they put so much effort into moving with that story. Everybody got bought into it and really like relished finding out what's going to happen to Desmond next. What's the next? And then it was like, no, yeah, we're just going to forget it even happened. That's exactly what's happened.
I get where you're coming from. The problem with that is that making a game like Hitman is that there's already a game like Hitman, and it's called Hitman.
Yeah, but is he running around in World War II? No, he isn't, bitch. Yeah, sit down.
Well, make a Hitman game in World War II. I think what happened with Assassin's Creed is obviously there was franchise fatigue. People were screaming out for them to take a break, and fair play to Ubisoft. They stopped an avalanche in mid-flow. Like, you try convincing Activision to take a break with Call of Duty, or DICE and EA with Battlefield. It's not going to happen. So fair play for them for doing that. And I think what they allowed them to do then is make Assassin's Creed into what I feel that it should have naturally been all along. I get that difference of opinions here, that's fair enough, but an open world action and adventure RPG where it's not just about the stealth each year, because I've done that a million times with Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations 3. Like, I want them to each year have a non-numbered title, or every other year, and explore different time zones and have a big open world that's beautiful and high-end graphics and explores the ways that sort of combat worked in those periods and things like that. That's what I think Assassin's Creed's strength is, and I think they've sort of like they've geared the franchise up now to lend itself to that. I just don't want it to come out this year. That's all I'm going to say. I want it to
spend a bit of time. Yeah. I like the idea of Spartan assassins. Don't get me wrong, I really do. It looks like to think that you could be like caught and put into a gladiator fight. Can you imagine that? Like, that'd be amazing.
Well, that would be in Rome, wouldn't it? Gladiators was an Italian thing. This is all in Greece.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So,
because I do history. This is what.
So this is going to be, Macedonians. It's going to be Story 300. Troy is going to be showing up. All of that. There's going to be. You could quite easily get naval bits in this. You're going to get lots of shields and pikes and stories about diplomacy and stuff like that.
So they need to make it dark. They need to make it dark as fuck because they're like barbaric times.
Here's the thing: is Origins. Well, I've not played Origins. Just judging by some of the DLC that came out for it, is I think they explored into like the gods part of it because of Egypt gods. It was a huge part to the culture. They could do exactly the same with Greece. They've got all of that sort of like religious element, and they've already acknowledged in the Assassin's Creed universe the religion and gods and supernatural element to it is all part of it. That's part of the real, the extended realism that they get. So, yeah, we could see like.
Where would you like to see it go from there? Like, is there anywhere that you feel that they haven't touched? Because I've got a big one.
Japan, feudal Japan. It has to be their next one. Samurais.
Yeah. I realize that. Oh wow, what's that? Shinobi. Let's go Shinobi Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Ninja Creed.
I was gonna say Scandinavia. Let's go Viking. That'd be amazing.
Yes. And the thing is that what excites me about it is that Greece is a gorgeous country. You're gonna have bright greens. You're gonna have flowers everywhere. You're gonna have like proper blue aqua seas with white architecture everywhere. It's going to be a gorgeous looking game, so that's what I'm most excited about. Anything else Ubisoft? Maybe a Splinter Cell, which has been hinted at multiple times.
Splinter Cell, is that the one with the Tom Clancy one?
Yeah.
From when we were kids, yeah.
Well, the Tom It's the Tom Clancy one, bitch.
Well, no, because you've got Rainbow Six as well.
Yeah, I suppose it's just as high profile, but
Splinter Cell was great when I was a kid. Like you had that meter where if you go out the dark and people could see you, and I like that game. It was really good. I haven't played one since I was younger. It does remind me of Hitman. Actually, thinking about that, it's like
That's why I was bringing it up because it relates directly back into what you were saying. And with this, I've got to be honest. When I'm like reading into people's thoughts and impressions on the potential reveal of it, because it's sort of like getting announced on Walmart pages and things like that really early, which Walmart has basically just released the entire E3 show with like placeholder artwork. Is that everyone's like, oh yeah, a big open world Splinter Cell. No, I want them to rein it in and just do a very story driven, an 8-hour experience of wow, that was like tailored and set up for like an action film.
Yeah, almost like with Dread with Carl Urban. He's locked inside that building with all the bad guys, and he's got to go up the tiers and just like clear everyone out. Let's get back to doing games like that. That would be brilliant. So he's got his Die Hard trilogy, Splinter Cell style. He's got to start from the bottom and work his way up.
Something like that, as silly as it sounds, people would be like, really? In 2018, that's the story model that you go in. It would work. It would lend it. That's what people miss, I think, nowadays. I think people get too drawn into, we have to do multiplayer and loot boxes, or we have to do big open worlds with 10,000 collectibles that you have to spend a week with fucking a guide on true achievements up next year. Rein it back in and just do a 8-10 hour experience where you've got a building, there's a cheesy bad guy at the end of it, but do it well. Do you know what I mean? You can still do that kind of story well. It just comes down to whether you've got the talent as a studio to do it. So yeah, I'd love to see Splinter Cell. Ubisoft have got a lot of other shit on. I'm probably going to miss really big important things. We're not going to see Far Cry.
No, we've already had that. One.
What else have Ubisoft got? It's all Tom Clancy stuff, isn't it?
It's just Cause Ubisoft.
No, that's Square Enix.
Okay, well, moving on then.
Yeah, let me just bring up my thing. I swear that there got to be more. Ubisoft are a big one, and they've kind of really nailing it at the moment. No, sod it. Call us out on it. There's going to be some big franchises that we're missing, but we've done the important one, Assassin's Creed. You'll go on.
I have seen that a lot of whining on Facebook. It was mainly because I thought I'm going to go into the thread on Assassin's Creed, see what people are saying, and people are complaining about Ubisoft doing it again, mainly with Assassin's Creed, because they were like, we're going to release a game once a year. Blah, blah, blah. They see a trailer, and all of a sudden they got the panties up in a bunch, and they're ready to fucking argue with anyone and everyone that's about them. I think people need to relax a bit. If I'm honest, if you're going to give me a new Assassin's Creed game, let them give it to me and shut the fuck up whining.
Yeah. Wait for the release date as well, because it might be that it's not coming out until next year. I really hope it isn't. Because otherwise that means we are back in the annual cycle and they just took 1 year off to get a step ahead, which might be all they need, to be fair.
It's probably going to be set up for a Christmas release, which will be about a year. So I reckon that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but we will have then had... Origins was only... last fall as well, so it's a yearly cycle. Anyway, should we move on to Bethesda?
Yeah. Fallout. Biatch.
Yeah, you ready for online Fallout?
I can't really say much because I've never played Fallout. I don't know why I'm refusing to play this game. I think it's because people are telling me to play this game, and I'm one of these that if you're going to tell me to do something, I'm probably going to do the opposite. I'm weird like that. I should really play it, but yeah.
There's nothing wrong with not playing Fallout. It's an acquired taste, but sort of one that a lot of people have, if that makes sense. I understand why people wouldn't like Fallout. Except for New Vegas, I didn't get on with Fallout 3, which, yes, is sacrilege. I didn't get on with Fallout 4, which I was really excited to play because not just finished, but my previous game, I'd played the last Fallout and really enjoyed it in New Vegas. So the big sort of numbered titles, I've not really got that into. I like the idea of it, but I just find them really a bit difficult to get into. So I like the idea that Fallout 76 could be doing something different, whether it's just another normal Fallout game using the same engine as number 4 with a different studio, or whether it's the core studio doing a co-op version or something like that. I don't know, but I'm excited to see what it is. I want to see gameplay.
The fans of Fallout, the real hardcore fans, have gone crazy for this. They really enjoy it, and do you know what? I like the fan base because they really do just enjoy the game. They don't whine about it. They really do just enjoy it.
That's true for almost all Bethesda fan base, sort of fanboys, if that makes sense. They don't have to put up with loot boxes, so it's not a fan base that's all about sort of online multiplayer and trolling and this loot box, that it's not fair, this, that, and the other. It's just a case of, is the game good? Yes or no?
Yeah,
simple.
And with it not being online, I suppose people have just got on with their game. They've enjoyed their experience and had conversations about it. Whereas now they're going to go online, possibly. That's probably going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just like, my big game, except Halo, is Elder Scrolls. Honestly, like I've played Skyrim so many times through that I could not even explain. I did the same with Oblivion. I wanted them to announce a new Elder Scrolls. How can we have gone an entire generation? This gen's going to be over in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, how can we go an entire generation with no Elder Scrolls? I'm telling you now, if they come out and they've got Fallout 76 and an Elder Scrolls game, Bethesda win. Just like no one is going to be able to come close to that.
Bethesda do Fable as well, don't they?
No, that's Microsoft.
Fuck's sake! See, this is why we have the talent, and then the video game guy.
The talent. You mean the talent is the video games guy? Shut the fuck up, bitch. So yeah, I really, really want an Elder Scrolls game. I need that release.
Like I said, I don't play Fallout, and I've never played Elder Scrolls. I
feel I like missing out.
I do like my gaming, but I am very like, I don't know what it is. I get a game and I like to play the shit out of it. I love to just sit there. If I have like more than 2 games, that's it. I get confused and I get panicky. And
oh my god, I'm pulling my hair out with you. Seriously, if you like games that you can get like knee deep into for months and like squeeze every last drop of juice out of, they are the 2 games that you need to try. Like, forget everything else. Even fuck Halo off to one side. Fuck Call of Duty off. Like, get yourself a Fallout or Elder Scrolls, seriously.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll get myself Fallout 4. Okay, I'm announcing this to the show. I'm going to get Fallout 4 and I'm going to play it and see if
it's not the best Fallout, for the example.
Oh, fuck's sake, I'll play with
get
my
yourself Skyrim. Doom 2 is highly possible.
Yeah, I've heard people say that the new Doom was brilliant. Like, people really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really good. Really, really good. Sort of like really visceral, the way that you took out the enemies, like a couple of rounds in the head, and it flashes and you can do your kill moves on it. You literally just... It's like, you know the bits in Far Cry where you're behind a line of 6 enemies and you kill one and then you knife the other and then you zoom up to the next one. It's like that the entire game. It's just like this series of awesome kill moves. It puts me off a little bit where it's a first-person shooter with like a little bit of a not really intuitive map with too many collectibles for a first-person shooter. And the same is sort of true with Wolfenstein. But that's sort of Bethesda's DNA, that RPG DNA penetrating into their shooters. And I love the fact that they have multiplayer sections to it, but they don't really push them. They're like, we need to give you a fleshed out single player, and if you like the multiplayer, there it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that with them.
Well, that's good. So you want Doom 2, or have they announced it?
No, I want a Doom 2. It's been rumoured that it's very, very possible. So from Bethesda's side, I think Fallout 76 is obviously going to be the big show. I think Doom 2 could be a huge sort of hype moment. And Elder Scrolls would be just a mic drop moment at the end. Like, that's all they need. And then Rage 2 as well. I don't know whether you ever played Rage 1. I played a little bit of it.
Yeah, I played that.
Yeah. It's like Fallout with Borderlands with not Call of Duty. That's just any first person shooter. It's like with Call of Duty mixed in. Like, you know what I mean? Just a first person. I guess Doom influence on it. I don't know how they hope to sort of balance Fallout and Rage, because it's a lot of post-apocalyptic scenery in one year, but
yeah. Well, we'll see. What's next after Bethesda?
After Bethesda, we're moving on to the big ones. So let's get PlayStation out of the way very quickly. We know what we're getting is Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, whoop whoop. Death Stranding is going to be maybe some gameplay, maybe a 2000 and 27 release date. And then we've got another big one that can't. Ghosts of Tsushima, which is the feudal Japan one.
And there's Detroit as well.
That's just released.
Oh, it's just released.
Yeah,
Looks amazing. Looks amazing. Fucking hell.
Really shallow gameplay, but I'm hearing a lot, even from Xbox fanboys, as in they run Xbox-related YouTube channels, are like, you know what, this game is addictive. I'm playing through it like 3 or 4 times. So, Spider-Man is the big one there. I don't really... This is going to be sacrilege. I don't really care too much about Death Stranding or The Last of Us 2.
This Spider-Man news is kind of like, if you wanted to commit suicide, and then you stuck yourself on a plinth, and then did a toe prick, and then slowly watched yourself bleed to death with that one toe prick, like one drip at a time, you're just losing your blood, blub, 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 and it takes you like 6 weeks to die. That's what this reminds me of, because all I've heard over the last, since we've been doing this show, is Spider-Man's coming. Spider-Man's coming. Fucking, when's the release date, man? It's doing my head in.
Later this year, don't worry, it'll be over soon. But apart from that is Ghost of I can't say it. Ghost of Sishu. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Feudal Japan game. Oh, it's going to be so good. I want to see gameplay. I hope they don't do like a For Honor style fighting mechanic where it's like it's a little bit like specialist. I just want it to be a good open world. You go in and you just chop motherfuckers to bits kind of game.
And it looks fucking beautiful as well. It looks amazing. Like.
The problem with PlayStation that I have is that they do too much CGI. But if it looks anything like it, which it possibly could, because let's face it, PlayStation are putting out some pretty decent games for a console that can't do proper 4K, is they've got some fucking talented art designers involved. So let's move past that, because they've already come out and they've said that that's all they're going to do. They're doing their 4 big games. They're going to have Call of Duty. They're going to have probably Red Dead. Even though Red Dead, Rockstar never show up at E3, so we'll see how that happens.
I think we should go Microsoft now. What's Microsoft got a plan?
Christ. Fuck all, probably. Fuck all. Perfect Dark has been potentially leaked. New Perfect Dark game. So Splinter Cell-ish GoldenEye type game. I'd love to see what they can do with that. To tell you the truth.
Okay, moving on. Rockstar's going to be all Red Dead, isn't it? I know it's about to be.
Why are we moving on to? We haven't even done any of Microsoft.
You said
no.
I said Rockstar, and you were like, well, yeah, they got this. Okay, I was like, okay, fine.
Rockstar don't do E3. They don't have to. They just put a game out whenever they put it out, and they get Donald Trump figures. Microsoft's going to have maybe Perfect Dark. I want them to do another Killer Instinct. I think it's time that they refresh Killer Instinct, to be honest.
Okay, and moving on to Konami. So Microsoft, is there going to be any news on sort of already developed games? Like, are we going to hear anything about a new Halo?
So
are we going to hear about?
With all of that, obviously there's been a lot of shit with how much PlayStation are putting out in terms of like their top tier, graphically amazing looking games. Of a lot of pressure on Phil Spencer of where's the games, is that their sort of focus has been since they took over, because since he took over, it was just an absolute shit show from back in 2013 of get the platform right, get all the background stuff right, get the services there, get the power back in the system so it's not like an anemic box that can't do power. And then throughout all that, we've been getting the studios together. So Halo 6 it's in development. We could get a teaser.
Okay.
I just want them to do more Halo 5 multiplayer, get rid of the Forge maps so that everything's sort of developed in-house, and just go further with the story. I don't care what it is. I really don't.
I want to go back onto a Halo. I want to I want to look up in the sky and see the halo arcing across the sky. You know,
That's how Halo 5 Legendary ended, is that they were zooming into another Halo. So hopefully we can get rid of that 4-player shitty co-op down and out system and have just Chief and Locke as player 1 and 2. Maybe Arbiter is, if they do player 3, and Book as player 4, if they have to. I really want them to rein the number of potential players in, because it means that you're never alone. You never got those tense moments where it's just you in a jungle surrounded by elites.
Do you know what I think would be great is if we finally got to see a physical form of Cortana. You know, like how Ultron created himself a physical Cortana. That would be amazing.
But she could quite easily do that, and she'd just be inside a robot.
Yeah. Exactly.
Version of herself. Yeah. What I want to see is, I know you didn't play Halo Wars, but in that they introduced a branch of the Covenant led by a guy called Atriox, who is a brute. He leads a group called the Banished. It's like the Covenant dialed up to 5,000. We've got the Prometheans led by Darth Vader Cortana. We've got the humans that have been pushed back into the Stone Age by the Guardians. And then the Flood are back on the scene in Halo Wars 2. So we've got 4 different sort of really powerful parties that could all meet up on Halo, and they could it could set it up so well. You'd have Cortana, you'd have Atriox, like you could have Cortana chasing Chief down, and that last moment of like, oh, this is going bad, and Atriox rocks up and just pile drives everyone. And it's like, oh, there's a bigger, badder person than evil Cortana. And then the Flood come down, and then even Atriox is running for his life. It's like they've got so much possibility that they can do with that story. So I want them to introduce all of that back in, but don't change the multiplayer.
Yeah, and I'd like to see some of the original vehicles and things, but I'd like to see some bigger, badder fucking vehicles you can fly, you know, that or drive. That'd be great. I mean, they've got to have made advances in fucking tanks and jeeps since fucking, what was it, 2000?
Yeah, I mean, they've the one biggest thing that I need to see of them is they need to take art direction very seriously. Like, Gears is a great looking game. Halo's never been that much of a looker. Like, it is nice looking, but it's not top quality, crisp looking.
I remember the first time we saw that first release, that first teaser for Halo 5, and you and me were jizzing everywhere. We were like, oh my God, this looks amazing! And now it's kind of like, this is the same thing as Titanfall. We're used to it now. That's what Xbox One looks like. Yep. So yeah. So you're right.
Yeah, they need to really ramp up the department that does all the textures and all the art. They need to have Halo as like that, just unbeatable graphics, because they can do it with it. Forza Horizon. I know we're sticking with like the usual games here, the ones that we know are going to happen, and we've talked about it a few times, so we don't need to go too deep. What car do you think they're going to bring down from the sky? I guess is.
I don't know.
I reckon they should bring down a smart car.
But we said there's new smart cars. They look like fucking ladybirds. They're
really
horrible. I don't know. Maybe a Tesla.
A Tesla. I reckon it's going to be Japan or Hong Kong. One of those two, and it's going to be about street racing. I think they've done European sports cars. They've done off-road vehicles to death with Forza Horizon 3. I think it's time to go neon sports, sort of like Asian sports cars, and get their drift on.
I think they should go to the UK. They're driving through fucking small towns in Citroen Saxos.
We're on the A34 going northbound from Hampstead.
I think they've already said it's Japan, haven't they? I'm pretty sure they've already said it's Japan.
Potential. And then a lot of artwork got leaked that could put it in Hong Kong. So at the moment, I think it's just fan leaks, to be honest.
I think they should do it in Africa. Africa would be amazing.
Yeah,
Like Ethiopia, like they've got like amazing forests, towns, deserts, Dakar rally style racing. Can you imagine that? That'd be
yeah.
amazing.
Dubai. There's anywhere they could do it. To be honest, going back into what I was mentioning, sort of pre-existing games. I don't think we're going to get Forza Gears this year. It's too close after Gears 4. Killer Instinct 2, I think they need to come in with loads more characters, like put or loads more Microsoft characters in there, because that's a great game. We've gone over Perfect Dark. They, to my knowledge, they own Turok.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
as my random pie in the sky prediction, I think we might see a Turok.
yeah. Because there's a bit of noise brought up about Turok not a while ago, wasn't there?
Yeah, like why would they bring that back? Maybe a cheap, easy project of throw a bit of content out there.
Well, dinosaurs are becoming big again, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
people are really, so I would like a dinosaur survival game. I think that would be really good. Like you have to survive against dinosaurs.
That's not an inventory management game and building like something like Ark, something that's a bit
Not
more
like Ark, no.
like a AAA level. You're out
Yeah,
there and it's a
yeah.
third person action, kind of like to be honest, they could do a Turok game, reskin Horizon Zero Dawn with real dinosaurs instead of robots, and I'd be happy. I really would.
Let's remake Dino Crisis.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that was definitely your cum face.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. What else have we got?
What else from there?
What would you like to see? I mean, I know you said Skyrim, but is there anything out there you've been yearning for?
Halo 6, a new Elder Scrolls. I really want a Turok game. I want Killer Instinct 2. And the biggest one is the one that I need to buy a new console for. Let's move on to Nintendo. Did you see the Pokemon game?
Yeah, but I've never been. You know me. I've never been
You mama. Nintendo gotta make that dollar bills.
So, right, okay, am I getting the concept right, or am I just making this up? So you go and catch Pokemon on your Pokemon Go thing, you take it home, and you can put it onto your Switch.
No.
Is that right?
Way more than that. So it's I know you didn't play them and go to hell for that, but it's the old Game Boy games mixed with a Pokemon Go sort of gameplay style thing where you can catch the Pokemon in the same way, so it's more of a physical action, but you've got the full world to explore, and it's like an actual video game as part of it. Pokemon Go just links into it because of how successful that is. Yeah. So it's like having a companion app that works with it, like the same as how on Assassin's Creed Black Flag you've got the companion app where you can manage your fleet. Pokemon Go is the equivalent of that to this. Yes, it may be a bit more intrinsically linked as to how the gameplay works, but a proper Pokemon game on your screen. I can't wait. Honestly,
it's like,
call me a
to
kid.
Be fair, this Switch looks like it was almost designed for a Pokemon game, if I'm honest. Something, I mean, like you could take your Switch around, you can catch Pokemon, take them home. You know, that's a really good idea because it's fully immersive. You know, you are a Pokemon catcher roaming around your garden trying to catch a Pikachu. Well, if you're lucky.
Do you know what's really sad, like, but awesome, is that I'm sitting here looking at that, thinking if I had a Switch. And my girlfriend's really into Pokemon Go. Is you could go around doing that, and you could have both devices linking them up together, and you could both be part of that one save file. You know, you could be training your group Pokemon and stuff. I just hope they got some decent fight mechanics in it, and it's not just all capturing. Because I don't want it to be a Pokemon Snap. You know what I mean? I don't want. Yeah. I want it to be a Pokemon Stadium, if that makes sense, rather than a Pokemon Snap. So
we're getting a Switch this year, so we're getting one at Christmas. So
awesome. And then while we're on the subject, just if Pokemon wasn't going to make them enough money, it's an old game. Well, old game, but it's old news. But Fortnite is coming to Switch apparently. Pack it up, go home. Once you've got all those kids playing Fortnite on their Switches, that thing is going to overtake PlayStation in sales. it's this next 12 months. Mark my words, Switch will skyrocket in terms of units sold.
Well, the thing is, it's a nice Christmas present, isn't it? And Christmas is it's not far away. So yeah, I do feel I feel you.
Mm.
I mean, like I was mocking them for putting LA Noir on there, but you know what? If I could play LA Noir whilst sat on a bus or in work or something like
having
that,
a shit, like
yeah,
it's this is the thing about the Switch is that it's easy to bash, but if you look at it and you get the right games on it, you don't have to get everything. It's not a third-party multi-plat type game, type console. It's pick and choose your poison, and it's brilliant for that. I think so. Yeah, I think this year is going to be such a sort of an interesting show.
I hope so because they've got a lot to live up. Got a lot to live up to. They really have. And this year has been quiet. There hasn't been like major fucking mic drop moments this year, has there really?
Well, there kind of has, but it's all been PlayStation orientated. It's been God of War. It's been Detroit a little bit. I wouldn't call Detroit a mic drop moment. It's a solid game, but yeah, God of War's been the only sort of like, holy shit, look how amazing this stuff is. I don't think Microsoft did anything. I don't think Nintendo Labo really qualifies as a mic drop moment.
Well, the new Forza was shocking. Like everybody was going on about how amazing it looked, and I called this. I said it's not going to do very well because it's not Horizon, and yeah, it's on sale. I saw it today for sale for a tenner on the sales page.
Really?
But yeah, people
number 7.
Yeah, people don't want it.
That's the difference, though, isn't it? When you've got like racing sims versus arcade sims, arcade races, is that one's so much more accessible. And I mean, I like my racing sims, but I've gone back a few times and tried to play Forza Motorsport 5 and 6.
Yeah,
and Horizon's just more up my street. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. The one last thing that we haven't talked about, moving on to Square Enix, is Tomb Raider looks more of the same, quite dark. I hope it's just as good as the others because the other games were brilliant. Just Cause 4 has been rumoured, which if it can be a prettier looking Just Cause 3 but with an actual solid frame rate and less bugs, all in.
Yeah. They're one of my favourite games, Just Cause. I love them.
Yeah, it's an absolute mess, isn't it? In terms of like, I've had like game ending bugs where it just kicks me out, but it's so fun. If they can do that and just dial everything up, yeah, I'm all in. Is the Avengers game? I want to see what this is all about. All we've seen so far is a tease with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. I don't want it to be Lego either. Fuck Lego.
No, it's a proper game. It's nothing that TT Games are doing. It's a
fuck Lego.
So yeah, I don't know what it's going to be. Whether it's going to be like an action adventure, if it's going to be a fighting game, if it's going to be a like prototype game. You know how like the old Hulk game was, where you get cars, smash them on your fists, and just go around an open world and just destroy stuff. No idea. I just want it to be good.
It'd be good if they basically you had to. It's like I don't want it to be as sort of linear as the sort of Lord of the Rings games where you had to just follow the story and it's the same story, and fight the trolls. But I would like it as if they just took 10 years of Avengers movies and just made a completely immersive game.
Oh, can you imagine? The scale of that project would be insane.
Doable.
You could condense it a lot because I suppose a movie has like an hour of dialogue that just isn't necessary. But
yeah, imagine the Witcher, but with the Avengers. I mean, completely modernize it and have different bits placed in different areas of the world where you had to build a team. Do you know what I mean? It sounds amazing.
Yeah. Like that would know. That's like coming out and just wishing for GTA 6 next year. Like it's one of those things that just wouldn't happen.
Yeah. But it would fucking it would make money. It would make money.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Right, let's okay. Have you got any more gaming talk?
No, all of that. I think time will tell. We've only got one more week to wait, so we'll get someone on. We'll do some reaction videos and stuff like that, little bits, whatever we can next week. But we'll leave it there. That's our predictions and going over leaks and expectations and stuff. I think so.
Okay, well, I look forward to watching it, and I will actually try and sit and watch E3 because I guess it's American time, so it'll be late in the night. So whether I'm at work or whether I'm downstairs, I'll definitely watch it this year.
You know what? They're actually usually pretty reasonable. They're usually about 7, 8 o'clock British time, I believe. Sometimes they are early, but yeah. Moving on, what we got? What else we got?
Roseanne Barr. I'd absolutely, I'd kick myself if I didn't talk about this. So, growing up as a kid, we had Roseanne, which was a sitcom with Roseanne Barr and John Goodman, and it was really funny. It was kind of it was up there with the Cosby Show and kind of all Frasier and all those things that were just around us when we were kids, So they were doing the reboot. They were remaking it with Roseanne Barr. Lots of noise about it. People getting really excited. And all of a sudden, the show gets cancelled. Like, everyone's out of a job. No one's getting paid. John Goodman isn't getting paid. The cameramen ain't getting paid. The extras aren't getting paid. Why? Because Roseanne Barr sent this tweet, right? I don't know if you've heard this, Jimmy.
I kind of, but because I've never watched it. I've had no interest in sort of like getting into the ins and outs of it. So,
so the tweet she wrote about who is it? Somebody called Jarrett, who is an African American and was born in Iran. And the tweet that she sent was, "It's the result of when Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby." So a completely Islamophobic racist. She tweeted that about this guy being a product of the Muslim Brotherhood and the Planet of the Apes. What? Why are you so stupid? You can't. Okay. On this week's edition of the Weekly Bazaar, I actively said that they're doing some pretty fucked up shit with drugs in Africa, and I actually said that if that's gonna spiral out of control and things are gonna carry on like that, then I'll quite happily not go to Africa and eat your food and drink your water. But that was out of context. That sounds horrible. But when these guys are jacking each other up with fucking their own blood and spreading AIDS everywhere,
Jesus Christ!
But Roseanne Barr, this is a completely ignorant comment to make, and I'm so glad that they got onto it straight away and cancelled the show, because why should she get paid? But the thing is, she's ruined it for everyone else. There's people hinting they were like, well, fuck Roseanne off, we'll just do it about her husband. Let's just have John Goodman on his own sitcom. That'd be amazing.
Can you imagine that storyline of just like, oh, where's your wife? And it's just like, oh, she got sent to jail for some really pig ignorant racist comment she made, and just like actually have like the real life situation, the real like the story why she isn't there, like just completely embrace the fact and just mock her. That's ridiculous. Like, surely sometimes, right, people say things, one, that they don't mean, two, that maybe is taken out of context that was completely jokingly, and obviously as long as it's not past a certain threshold, I think people need to get off their high horse with sort of like minority groups of when we're joking about stuff. Like, I really do. I think as long as everything is in context and it's understood and accepted by sort of like whoever's the butt of the joke, then get over it. But there is a line that you've got to think when you're typing out a tweet where it's just like, this might be a bit of a bad career move.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a line that you don't cross, and then there's lines that you just don't fucking cross. And they are miles apart. Before that first line, that's acceptable. The middle ground is a Ricky Gervais stand-up show, and then past of it is Roseanne's tweets. Like, that's just...
She's on Joe Rogan, I think, this week.
No, he cancelled. Well, no, she went radio dark on him. Apparently, he tweeted, and he said he's just stepping away from it and he's just not pressing it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's just like, no, I'm not getting too involved in it. If she doesn't want to come on, then there's got to be a lot going on. So, and to be honest, that I wouldn't necessarily want to watch that show. It would be a lot of like, because Joe Rogan doesn't. He will press it, and he will keep asking that sort of, what were you thinking?
Yeah. And it really annoys people as well, doesn't he? When he's like, "Okay, pull that up, Jamie, pull that up, pull it up," and he's like, and then he starts reading through articles as they're explaining things, and he contradicts them with articles and things like that. Really, he did that with Tom DeLonge, and Tom DeLonge was like, "I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to keep pulling that up on the screen."
Yeah, just that's the difference between being listening to conspiracy theories and actually being a critical thinker and thinking, well, what evidence is there for it and against it, and not just being overly polite to someone because they're on your show. So yeah, but we'll see.
Have you been to see Solo yet?
Nope, and I'm not gonna. I've made the decision. Even though I do this show, I have no interest in it. I'm getting nothing but negative feedback from absolutely anyone that I ask, and I'm one of these people who are just like, if that's the route you're going down, you're not having my money. Put some effort behind it.
I was going to watch it Friday because I don't necessarily listen to the negative stuff, because I've heard a bit of mixed. I've heard some people say it's amazing, some people say it's terrible, some people say that Emilia Clarke is really wooden in it and not very good, which I kind of. She can do that. She did that in Terminator Genesis. I didn't really like her in that. But I was going to go see it Friday, but I don't think the wife was too excited about going to see it. We had a childless night, and I was like, okay. So in the end, we went to this really nice burger joint, and had a really nice date. So we went somewhere else instead, and I think she appreciated me for that. But now I don't have time to go and see Solo. But from what I'm hearing, it's probably not going to be worth my time anyway.
Yeah,
it's not. It's lost money. It's not made any money at all.
And that's bad for a Star Wars film. So. If I ever do watch it, though, we can have a chat about what we actually did think about it in the end. But yeah, I think even though we've brought it up and not given any opinions to it because we've not watched it, that kind of still sums it up of the general feel towards the film. Because I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I went and watched it, I had nothing better to do. So there's just no excitement about it, and I think my girlfriend, I think the reason that she doesn't want to see it is summed it up. I don't think anyone has any. They don't look at the guy playing Han Solo and goes, "Oh yeah, I can buy into that character." And sometimes that's what you need. It's just a bit of excitement of you've got someone that you know, or someone who looks a lot like him, or oh wow, and if you've seen in the trailer, you can pick up all of his quirks. It looks like he's going to do a really good version of him. You don't get any of that.
And apparently, Donald Glover's completely sold out Lando as well. Made him a completely different character. So
I don't like Donald Glover.
Do you not?
No, I think I don't get why he's come out of nowhere of this big star all of a sudden. I think he's a shit actor.
He's a director more than an actor, isn't he?
Yeah, I just think he's a full on. He's got no personality. He's he seems stoned all the time. Probably is stoned all the time, and it's just nah.
Okay, so moving on from that, I saw a trailer today, which I really liked, and it's just a random one. I feel like we're talking about a lot about Marvel and Star Wars and stuff like that, and all the other smaller films aren't getting a look in. So I thought, no, let's look at a different trailer. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the Sisters Brothers. It's a bit of a comedy, and it's got John C. Reilly, Joaquin Phoenix, and the other guy, Jake Gyllenhaal. Is it Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
And it's basically about these Wild West killers that go around. They're chasing after a gold digger guy. And it looks amazing. It really does look amazing. So go and watch the trailer. I'll put it up on the Thors-Kin thing. It looks really good. I just wanted to talk about another movie other than fucking Marvel and Star Wars. Anyway, should we move on to Dickhead of the Week? Have you got any Dickhead of the Week?
Not really, to be honest. I think unless you've got a specific one, I think Roseanne covers the next 5 weeks of Dickhead of the Week with that comment.
No, I've got a kind of a dickhead and a hero, and let me just I'm gonna try something. One of my dickheads is also one of my heroes. There's a toll booth in Manchester,
Yeah,
and it charged people 12p,
right.
12p to use this toll booth, and it annoyed people because it was just 12p, and
Yeah.
it caused tailbacks.
That's
12p.
ridiculous. Why even charge it?
Somebody burnt the fucker down.
Yes.
They actually burnt it down. We don't condone arson on this place, but yeah, somebody decided to take this fucking thing out. Have you seen this video of this motorcyclist going through London? So this thing has been labelled the most British thing you'll see this week. And it's a video of a motorcyclist going through London, through all the traffic, and he goes alongside this red bus. Some guy waves down to him to slow down. He stops. And this guy comes out from in front of the bus, and he's like, after you, no, after you, no, after you. And he lets him go. He turns to the guy in the bus. He says, thanks for that, mate. And he goes, safe, and then just crack on with their day. It's one of the most amazing. I'll try to work out how to do the screen share on this. I'll put it on Facebook, but he's my hero of the week because that's the kind of thing I like to see. British people just getting on with shit and having a good day.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's call it quits because it sounds like you're having a bit of a day there. And
I literally just putting like 3 or 4 edited bits up that like 30 seconds long. My dog's just going crazy. So yeah, let's wrap it up there.
If it's not you and your dogs, it's fucking Garrett and Kirk. It's crazy. Fucking animals ruining Thors-Kin podcast. That's great. All right, buddy. We'll call it quits there. As usual, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Because we're an honest show. But we could do with a few more listeners.
Yeah, man. And make sure you tune in next week because it's going to be reactions to what we got wrong and right from this week's all predictions. I'm sure there's going to be more random stuff, hopefully a bit more movie stuff to talk about as well. So make sure you tune in next week, guys. And Superhero Bar Fight come in Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay, peace out, guys. Much love.
Bye.